And y'all can't hear me. I'm on here just dancing and stuff. What? What's up, Black Girls? Hello, Black Girl Book Club Podcast. How are you guys? I'm here to talk about Inevitably Love by Love Belvin. What's up, y'all? Patrice should be here tonight. She's running a little bit behind, but I'm gonna get us started. How is everyone's Tuesday going? I think we probably already got our book for next week, so stay tuned for that. So you'll have a heads up if you are just getting on. Has everybody read the book? If you on here right now, am I frozen? My internet is popping. It's not saying that my internet doing anything. But let me know if I am frozen in the comments, please, because I don't know. But anyway, so who all read the book? Who still hasn't read it? Just FYI, if you are new here, this is a spoiler group. Hey, Celeste girl. Okay, I'm not froze. Whoop whoop. You heard me. Hey, boo. Okay. And Andrea in this mug. So have you read the book? Have you not read the book? Again, if you are new here, this is a spoiler podcast group. So you getting all the tea tonight on Inevitably Love. Hopefully we'll get a chance to go a little deep up in some of the things. Oh my gosh, this book was so refreshing. Okay, y'all, because a girl been struggling. But anyway, I'm Shaquana, and I am your host of the Black Girl Book Club podcast. The Black Girl Book Club podcast. The Black Girl Book Club podcast. Hey, Jennifer girl. Oh, you read it. You made it, and you on time, honey. Um, but yes, so if you have not, this is a two-part series. So if you didn't read book one, which was called in the meantime, so if you haven't read book one, you're going to want to go back and read that, or you're going to be completely lost in book two. This is not one that you can read as a standalone. You kind of need to get the backstory and everything that happened. So if you haven't read book one, go back read in the meantime, then read this one. But tonight we're getting into Inevitably Love, but we'll do a little recap on book one. So book one details how Hayden and Ishaan met. And it was a very interesting, very risque, should we say, right? It was a little risque. And they met because he was looking for a woman of the night. I was just watching something recently and they called them something else. But a woman of the night, and he met Hayden, which was on a work, she was on a work trip, right? She was just there trying to do her little job. She was on a work trip and they ran into each other, and somehow she became his not Jane, what do they call them? His well, he became her trick for the night, let's say that, because I can't think of what she would be, her John for the night. And so they met each other. She was not a woman of the night, she was not a prostitute in real life, but she played one that night, which I thought was kind of cool. It was risky. It was risky. I don't know if that's the game that I would play, but it was fun to read about. So, just one night, you just decide that you want to be a damn prostitute and you get paid to be with this man. So, if you haven't read book one, I'm not gonna go into it, but it was kind of cute, and he was asking how much she charged. She was telling him how much she charged and stuff. What was the people from the job? Okay, so they all work together, but it was a girls' trip. Y'all let me know. Because it was the people that she worked with. I thought it was a work trip, but I guess it was a girls' trip because you be friends with your girls from work. But anyway, so that's how they met. And they slept together that night, and then they saw each other again. Now, the second time, was she on a work trip? They saw each other again, and he is the chief operations officer for one of Asmir Jacobs. If you don't know who the Asmir Jacobs is, you ask about him, okay? But you must not be in the LBU if you don't know who Asmir Jacobs is. But he is in control of security and making sure everything is running properly. He always say, I make sure that people have a good time and they safe while doing it. All right. So, oh yes, it was a girls' trip. My bad. Hey, I need a girl. So the second time was a work trip. Okay, so the second time they met, he is looking at the security cameras for a new for a casino, and she is on a work trip, and she just happens to be walking through, and he see her on a security camera, and he was like, "That's my girl from." Where was that? Was that in Atlantic City or was that in Vegas? He was like, "That's my girl." He was like, I need you to go get up on her or whatever. And so he went the his right hand or right woman, because she was a woman, went and got her, and they end up knocking them boots again. If you have never read a Love Belvin love scene, it is an experience. I'm not gonna get into it. Hopefully the bedroom translator will be on here at some point so she can get all into it, how he was digging them guts out real good for her baby. And so Hayden was just having her a good old time. Yes, he came back for seconds, and he was and he had what? How much did she charge? She charged like $10,000 the first night. She charged $10,000. Oh my God! And so the second time they slept together, she gave him the money back. Oh my God, she gave him the money back. So um, she gave him the money back the second time they slept together, which he already knew that she wasn't a prostitute by I think probably the first time they had sex, because she just didn't give off that vibe. But they went to an event together and stuff the first time. They went to a what's the name of that college in this book that we all go to? BSU. They went to a BSU event. So he took her to a BSU event, and then she accompanied him to that event, and then they slept together that first night. The second night they was on a work thing. She gave him the money back or whatever and went on about her business. They thinking, no harm, no foul. We parting ways. We'll never see each other again. That was fun. Deuces, see you later, right? Of course. They sleeping together with no gloves. Okay, should have been no glove, no love, but of course, no glove, and little Miss Hayden gets pregnant. And so all of book one, um, she wasn't going to tell him that she was pregnant. She didn't know who he was. She didn't really know a lot about him because they sleeping together on some wild shit. And so, she was just like, okay, I'm going to be a single mother. She didn't know if she was going to keep the baby or not. Then she ended up bumping into him because he works for Asmir's Jacobs, and Raina, Asmir's Jacobs' wife, is her cousin, is Hayden's cousin. So they went to Asmir's ADJ birthday party, and that's how they ran into each other again. And she is pregnant, and she's visibly pregnant. And he looking like, oh, okay. And kind of put two and two together. And he like, is this my baby? And she like, I don't know, which I think she knew because she hadn't really been sleeping with. Okay, I had got a little confused about this, y'all. That's a crazy ass girl. She was 2 out of the 4 come up pregnant. Baby, they had a time. They had a time, okay, baby. They had a time. And so this is what I got a little confused about. She hadn't slept with anyone else, so she knew for sure that it was his baby. She was just on some other shit. Another thing that you got to deal with when you reading Love Belvin books, as great as they are, her FMCs will wear your ass out. Okay. So she want to be a single mother. She don't want no man in her baby's life. So even though she know that this man baby, she don't want to tell him that it's his baby because she want to do this by herself because she's used to doing everything herself. So she's going to raise her child by herself because she just feels so compelled to. But he not having it. He don't play that. So Jennifer said she wouldn't go no place else with them. Why? They had fun, girl. So, boom. So that is book one. So that's the backstory. Okay, I just gave you it. Now, that's not all that happens. A lot of stuff happens. It's a lot of back and forth. Like I said, if you used to reading Love Belvin books, you know that FMC gonna wear you down, okay? Because Ishaan was nothing but good to her, to me. Baby, I would have snatched him up so quick. Even if I didn't know if that was his baby for real, baby, he would have been my baby daddy. Don't worry about no blood test or nothing like that. We go together. This is our child because he was good to her. Okay. He was good to her, but she was like trying to keep him at arm's length. She don't trust me, and she was sexually assaulted as a child by her uncle, her mom's brother, who her mom chooses to stand beside and not, you know what I'm saying? So that's book one. And so at the end of book one, Hayden meets up with an old friend, Kevin. I think it's his name to her. And Ishan comes into the restaurant. And this is someone that he's worked in the underworld with, right? Because he got his hand in a lot of different things. And now he thinks that she's a snake because he's used to dealing with snakes because his baby's mother was a snake. And so now he done put Hayden in that category because she meet up with the ops basically. And so he is like, I don't fuck with you no more, basically, at the end of book one. After he then ran her down, made her move into his house and all type of other shit. Now he don't want nothing to do with her because this one little incident didn't try to see where her head was at, where she was coming from, nothing. So I have been rooting from him all of book one. Then at the end of book one, I'm like, boy, fuck you at this point. Like, really, you're not even gonna try to ask her what happened or nothing, right? So that is book one in a nutshell, which is really nice. You need to go read it. It's a lot more that happens. You really can't read book two without reading book one. So boom, that's what happened at book at the end of book one. They're at odds now, or he's at odds with her because he thinks she the ops, because he got a backstory about how this woman betrayed him back in the past, right? Right. And then you just gonna leave her at the restaurant? Like, what, motherfucker? Okay, so boom. So that's the end of book one. So book two starts. Now, in book one, he was chasing her, making her come live with him. She was steady saying no. They were sleeping in separate bedrooms, all kind of stuff, right? So in the beginning of book two, now she the one groveling. So at the beginning of book one, no, I have a question for tonight, right? I have a question for tonight. It does not necessarily have to do with this book, even though it was a lot of bumping and grinding going on even here, even though it was a lot of digging her out going on up in here. But I have seen a lot online in the book world where people say when you read a lot of fiction like we do, and a lot of fiction that have a lot of bumping and grinding, a lot of sex in it, that it can be seen as being addicted to porn. I know this kind of left field and I know this kind of out the core, but I did want to get y'all take on it before I forgot. And I'll maybe put a poll in the group too as well. But give me y'all thoughts on this in the comments. Like, do y'all think that because we all in the same gang up here, we are addicted to porn, reading porn, because we're not watching it, but we're reading it, a lot of sex and stuff like that. I feel like there's so much more to books. Like in this book, there's so much more to this book. There's so much more that happens. If you're not an avid reader, if you don't read a lot and you don't get into the books like we do, it's so much more that you get out of these books than just sex, which I feel like it's a big part of it. And I'm not ashamed to say that, that's why I read, but it's so much more to them. They evoke so much emotion, they're healing. You get to see the ins and outs of different people's lives. You get to escape a little bit, like Patrice always say. You get to go on these elaborate vacations and just see how Black women are being treated all over the world and all that good stuff. So let me know y'all thoughts on it. Okay. So boom, back into the core, back on book two. So book two starts with Ishaan and his father, right? Who was a commander in the offense, someone high ranking in the military, correct? And he just had this very stern way of raising his son. Like he did not play no fucking games with Ishaan, right? And so he is like taking him to this field, and I think she wrote this like this is my opinion. I don't know, I haven't spoken with her or anything, but I think she wrote it like this to give us an idea of how he became the man that he became, because in this point in the book he's 9. She's like having a flashback, he's having a flashback, and so he's with his father, and his father is giving him all of these words of wisdom about what it means to be a man and how you gonna protect and provide and all that stuff, which is another thing that's real big in the social media world today. But he's just teaching him, you heard, you're, if something happens to me, you need to be there for your mother. You need to be able to be there to protect her and to take care of her and provide for her, and that kind of thing or whatever. So let's say I am not addicted, baby. Do not even put me on that. Told him show no emotion. Yes, his dad told him show no emotion, and I like this aspect of it. He told him to. He was like, "Cause men don't cry," and his dad was like, "Actually, men do cry. Like it's not that they don't cry." So he didn't give him that aspect of it because that said a lot. He said, "But like crying don't do nothing." Like you be having all this emotion, so I thought there was a different take on it, and just her way with words and the way she writes and just like the way she pull you into the book. I don't know, that evokes some kind of emotion in me, like hearing him say that to him. I personally don't believe in that, but I'm a woman, I'm a mother to a son, and my husband was a little bit stern with my son or whatever, but it was just like he turned out okay to me. I thought he was a good man at the end of the book or whatever. So that kind of the beginning was about a moment between him and his father. Which, when I think about it, so it started with the moment with him and his father, and it kind of ended with the moment with her and her mother. I wonder did she do it on purpose. But anyway, so we get a chance because in present day his father has passed away. So, we don't get a chance to see their interactions or anything like that. We just get to see him with his son Keith. But this gives us a glimpse into how he was raised and, who his father was to him and that kind of thing. Right. So that is how the book starts. It also was this when a basketball game happened and him and Key kind of got into it and he was talking about he's trying to mop the floor with him. Like poor Key, I just wanted to give him a hug because he was so respectful and just like he got out of line a little bit, but it was to me, it was never like he was just tripping until he was saying that was his baby. Until he was saying that his mom balanced him out. Yeah, his mom did. I don't know. What did they call her Dr. Patterson the whole time in the book? He never called her mom. And so anyway, so that was his beginning. And then with Hayden's beginning, it starts off with her in her he wasn't showboating. He was upset about the game. And it was like, why you tripping with me? You know, I just lost this game. You know, I'm trying to let off some steam. And Ishaan was like, no, you need to be in the bed by 10 o'clock. And was kind of like fronting on him in front of his little girlfriend and stuff. So he wasn't necessarily showboating. And Ishaan knew that it was because they had just lost kind of like a big game or whatever. He said, both of our emotions are high because of what just happened in the game. So to me, it didn't seem like he was showboating. It was just like, I just lost this game, you know, or whatever. I'm trying to chill with my woman and kick it with the guys and everything like that. But that's where that discipline comes in that he was taught growing up. And now he's passing that on to his son. Like, you know, you letting your emotion get in the way of what you need to do. You got to practice in the morning. You need to be in the bed at a certain time. And you got to think about that. You can't sit here and well in your emotions about it, right? He tried to dunk instead of shooting. Oh, okay. You saying he was showboating. Then I thought you were saying he was showboating when him and when Ishaan was disciplining him. But anyway, so that happened. So that kind of gives you a glimpse into how, you know, the things that he was taught by his father in the beginning of the book, he passing that on to his son or whatever. But you could see the love that he had for his son. And I love that throughout the book because something comes out at the end or, you know, middle to end of the book. But I love how he called him his son throughout the entire book. He was always talking about my son, my son, my son. Um, my son, you know, he always was talking about how that was his son, you know, and he took pride in that and everything. So that's his beginning. The beginning with Hayden is her being at work and them going through some things at work. She works for another LBU fave. She works for Lex, who is Ezra's wife. If you don't know Ezra, you got to get into it. You better ask about him. But she's Ezra's wife, and she owns a nonprofit organization that houses, you know, people who need housing and people down on their luck, and you know, women in abusive relationships and stuff like that, or whatever, or mental illness and stuff. And so Hayden is responsible for getting the money in the door for the organization so that they can keep it running. And so they're having like an office meeting, and during this often Christ cares. Yes, honey. Yes. And Lex is just a vibe to me. I can't relate to her because she a little bit hardcore, but I just feel like a connection to her. I relate to which woman in the LBU universe do you relate to the most? I would say for me, it would be Raina. But yeah, so she's at work, she and her with Lex and everything, and they are going through how they're going to keep their funding for their organization, you know, because they just lost like a big donor or something like that. So it's like, how are we going to make up these funds from this donor? And so from there, because remember at the end of book one, Ishaan is mad at Hayden for whatever reason. And so they on the outs, it's been 2 weeks since that happened and they haven't talked. Right. Patrice in his house.
Hey y'all, sorry I'm late.
But yeah, so they haven't talked in 2 weeks. And so Hayden is like, she want her man back because he was treating her so good in book one. And she was kind of, you know, giving him the cold shoulder. And now, after he didn't put that good luck on her, she like, I want my man back. So she done had Raina, who is her cousin, Asmir's wife, pull some strings to get her a meeting with Ishaan. And so she goes to his office under her name that she used as his lady of the night. Right.
Jane Dowdry or something.
Jane Doherty, I
Doherty,
think is
Doherty.
what it
Yeah.
was, which I don't know how they didn't pick up on that. Him or Mish didn't pick up on it ahead of time, but she done snuck in and got her a meeting with him under this assumed name or whatever. And she goes and she meet with them. They're in the interaction with her telling them, because Mish, like, what is the assistant
Moochie,
name? Moochie.
Moochie.
Is it Moochie?
It's Moochie.
Moochie. Okay, so Moochie, um, she like, we don't have a meeting with you on his calendar because her name is Hayden. And what's her last name? Because she kept calling her Miss Robinson. What's her
What's
last name?
Hayden's? I don't remember
Right.
her last
So
name.
she was like, we don't have you on his calendar. And she was like, well, yes, y'all do. Or whatever. So boom.
Why
She got him
Moochie
on the
act like but Moochie put me in the mind in that moment. She reminded me of Peggy. You remember Peggy, Asmir's assistant? Okay,
no.
so remember Asmir had an assistant and Peg, her name was Peg, and she treated Raina like crap. And one day Raina was just like, "You act like I didn't wake up in this man's bed this morning," and that's how I feel like Munchie or Moochie was acting. I'm like, you know, I'm fucking this man. Like, quit acting like that. You know who I am.
I didn't get that from her. I just felt like for one, she gave masculine. She did not give feminine at all. And she just gave like one of the guys, like a
And
security
you know,
guard.
I felt like I felt like she was in love with him at first. I was like, is she feeling him?
No, I didn't get that at all.
I
I was
thought that she kind
totally
of was
getting,
feeling him, but she was just socially awkward or something.
oh, yeah, no, I wasn't getting that. I thought she was like one of the guys, like his right hand. And she was just trying to protect his peace, basically. Because I was expecting for her to have a female Washington. I was expecting for her to have a female love interest. Like that's what I was getting from her. But maybe I'm wrong. Y'all let us know what y'all think. So she ends up letting her into the office and she go in and she's bearing gifts and he is eating. I loved his demeanor and mannerisms and how he talked to her because he was like, come join me for lunch. But it was like stern, take charge, manly, and so she went to go join him for lunch or whatever. And he made sure she washed her hands and, made sure she ate. She was like, I don't have to eat. You can eat. I didn't mean to disrupt your lunch. And he
Well,
was
her
like,
tail was
no.
hungry. She was
Right.
starving.
He was like, you eat, you are the eater of the food. You are the eater of the food. You don't sit and watch nobody eat and you with child. You eat the food, right? So at this point, they got a paternity test in utero and they got the paternity test results and neither one of them have looked at the results. Hayden said she didn't need to look at the results because she don't want no baby daddy anyway. That girl
She find
was
out, okay, can I ask you this? And I know I'm late. I'm late to the
go
party.
ahead, girl.
But do you feel like I got the feeling like why did we need to go through all of this? Because I wasn't getting from Hayden that she slept with anybody else.
That's what I just asked. I was like, I can't remember,
They
but
never said she slept with
she
anybody else.
she knew that he was the father, but she
Yeah.
didn't want the father in the baby's life because, like, when she had that dream about her daddy, she was like, after conception, fathers aren't needed. So that was like her take on it. Like, your job is done. You didn't impregnated me. I don't need you for nothing else.
You know what? And I get that because actually, like me and my best friend, she wanted 3 kids, white picket fence, a dog, all a husband. I didn't. I wanted to have kids. Initially, when I was younger, I wanted kids, no daddy. I'm like, I don't want no, because I'm like, daddy, my dad was the ain't shit ass dad. And I was like, I don't need no dad who yell all the time like James Evans on Good Times and all that. I'm like, I'm just gonna have me a couple kids and I'm gonna raise them. I'm gonna be a good mom. That's how I used to feel too, kind of like Hayden. So I got it. But when I look at Hayden, they said that Hayden was a good girl. Like she wasn't the type who, like she wasn't on no BS. So I don't feel like there was like 6 guys and she wasn't, and they was all nutting in her and she wasn't sure which one was the baby daddy. It's like, why are we going through this? She reminds me, she
Because
is
it was
so
like she was
Raina.
trying to run him off
She
because
is
she
so
didn't
Raina.
want him in the picture. And I kind of get it because the men in her life had let her down, from her father to her uncle. And maybe she felt like she was protecting her baby from that bullshit. Maybe, I don't know. But you could tell that this man is not that type of man. First of all, he got a child that he's taking care of by himself, him and his mom. And then he's trying to take care of you and all that. So I don't know. Sometimes I guess our trauma gets in the way, but I wasn't understanding where she was coming from because it was like, girl,
It's
like I
like, why
said,
is you pushing this man
I
away
would have
and
been
you
like,
need
my man, my
help?
man, my man. This is
You
my man. I
need
don't care
help.
who baby this is, who daddy, who the daddy of the baby is. This is my man.
Who the
The way
pappy?
he was trying to take care of her.
But I felt like she needed him, and I don't mean just like somebody financial. She needed him emotionally. She needed him in every way. She needed to be secured. She needed to be protected. She needed to be loved. She needed to be nurtured. All of that. It wasn't just a money thing. But okay.
So let's say I think LB just wanted to create suspense and then Rob pop up and it's like, who this? You
Before
don't
he
run from the
officially
rich
wanted to see the
husband
cat.
man wanted okay. So that's what I'm saying. But so and she knew she needed him by this point, baby, because she went up in that office spread eagles, which she didn't.
But she said, drop
But
down to get
when
the eagle on.
okay, but when she went up in there, ate that food, and he got the kissing and licking on her, she was like, you know what? It wasn't like no, I don't want, baby. He was flipping her every which way but loose in that office.
And I love that for her.
Like y'all just rekindling. Hey, hold up. No, baby, he was on that ass. Okay,
And literally, I love that for her. Because
own it.
she needed that too. Sometimes, we women, we can get ahead of ourselves. I mean, and we be the shit and we be taking care of business and all of that. But sometimes we need our man to level us. We need
And
to
he
be
was
leveled.
definitely her leveler.
We
He
need
leveled
to be
her
leveled. We
ass.
need some stability. We need some act right in
But
that.
it take a certain type of man to do
Yes, it
that.
does.
And
Yes, it
he was
does.
that man. He was that man for Hayes. So in that office, they reconsummated their relationship. So they kind of back together. Was she still living with him?
What you say?
Was she still living with him?
No,
No,
okay.
she was
So
living
she
in
had
Raina's
moved out.
place.
She had
She
moved
was
out because
she was
when
living in
he
Raina's
said
place.
when she was eating lunch with Rob and like she was like he was like, he felt like he couldn't trust her. He was like, fuck you. And then so she went back to the house and I mean, like the next time you read about where she lived at, she was in Raina's duplex, the edge, she was at Edgewater.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They had that. I mean, okay, Edgewater was actually a really nice and beautiful spot. They talked about
Mm-hmm.
it like it was a one bedroom cold water, like it was just a little side apartment. This was the crib.
No. Yes, they got right to it. Anita said it wasn't no back and forth in this book, baby. They got right to it. He shook her
The
into
one thing that
reality.
she knew is that she wanted to dig. Even when she was mad at him, she knew that she wanted to dig. So in my anger, you know how it's like you ain't getting no coochie? No, in my anger, I'm gonna fuck you and I'm gonna choke you. And
Oh,
and
okay.
he let her. He let her. It reminded me, okay, I'm always reflecting. I'm out the car for just a second.
Okay, go ahead, girl.
It reminded me of Takara Allen's book when
Mm-hmm.
Need for Noor, when
Mm-hmm.
he was upset, she said, have sex, be rough with me, whatever. You can choke me, you can hit, you could bite, you can anal
Just
forcefully,
take it
whatever you
all
want
out
to do.
on me.
Just take it all out on me. And that's how Ish was. He was like, I I'm gonna let you damn near kill me. Like I'm like getting to the point where my breath is getting shallow, but at the same time, my orgasm is coming to its peak. And I feel
Mhm.
like I'm starting to lose a little bit of consciousness, but the
Right,
orgasm is so intense. It's so intense that I can't
right.
stop you, but I'm close, damn near dead, but I'm having the nut of my life.
It'd be like this sometimes.
You know what? The only person who writes stuff like that is LB.
Man, when I tell y'all,
Because
when I
remember, she had
tell y'all,
that girl suck that dude out of his dream. He was having a bad dream and she sucked him out of it.
baby, listen, you don't be
Love
reading
Belvin
them,
ain't no joke.
baby, she gonna take you through it with them. You gonna be going down yonder with the characters.
But
So, go ahead.
no. That's they're in
Boom.
love.
So
They
now
always love
they
each
back
other.
together. Okay. He was supposed to die for their orphan. So
Some, look, sometimes you got to take one for the team.
now they back together and she moved back into the house with him. Or did he ask her to move back in? She was like, no, I don't know if I want to. And all that.
Yeah, like ain't there any man independence? He was like,
Right.
you can't bring this baby into the world homeless.
Right. So she ends up moving back with him and they're navigating that. But they don't have a lot of drama between them. They don't have a lot of back and forth. Most of the drama in the book is with Key, which is his son. And I sympathize with him and I felt so bad for him because he felt like he was losing his dad to this new family,
He felt
which,
threatened.
right. And again, I just felt like he was a good kid and all that. Oh no, we gotta talk about when they went to the resort.
Yeah. And can I
Cause
talk about her
that
son? So, you know, a lot of people had mixed feelings about the son and the way he acted and things like that.
mhm,
But I think what you have to take into account with him is that he was like 16 or 17. So
mhm,
was he being bratty? Yes, he was, but his mind was not developed to a state because he's still young to where he could understand that this man is not going to leave him because he's always lived in a state of uncertainty because he would
mm,
often tell Ishaan, he would often tell him like, you provided me with a good life, you did more than most fathers would do. Like nobody that my kids don't thank me like that. My kids don't
that's
be
what I
thanking
said.
me.
He was a good
He
kid.
was a good kid and he understood that, and so but he did not understand that his position was not threatened. I can see where he felt that way at his age because he was
Celeste
always
said
aware.
Ishan did not do a good job of acclimating him to the new normal.
He didn't
He just
acclimate
moved her
nobody
ass
to the new
right on up
normal.
in there. He wanted his woman up in that house with him.
But you know what? Have y'all ever seen an auntie or something shoot a mama, a cousin get a new man, and you be like, she done lost her mind because she forget everything that's right? It's like he got a new woman, and it was like, I mean, and one that he haven't had a woman in a long time, so he got her, and it's like, ooh. And
He was dipping it low.
he ain't thinking straight. And y'all know how it is when y'all get somebody new and it's just you on the phone and it's just like it's 3 o'clock in the morning. We just on the phone breathing. Like that shit feel good. And so I don't think as parents, sometimes we just don't get it right. And he didn't get it right, but that happens often.
He said he was also hurting from the continued rejection from his dad. So when the book first started off, book one, and they were talking about Key's other family, I just assumed that it was the girl. What was her name? The baby mama, the deceased woman, Megan.
Seal?
What was her?
Was it Seal? No, was she Seal? Yeah,
No,
Priscilla.
her name.
It was like Seal, wasn't it?
No, you thinking about another book.
Oh shit,
We talked
sorry.
about that book last week. I think it was like making or something. But his biological mother, Keys, this is the son. His biological mother is dead. And when in book one, I kept thinking when they was talking about Mandy, when I kept saying the mama is when they kept saying his other family isn't showing up, he's been inviting them, they not showing up, or he didn't want to invite them. I assumed that was Mandy's family that they were talking about, right?
It was his
But
dad's
I think
family.
in the back of all of our minds, when we heard about Mandy and all her BS or whatever. Hey, Khalees girl. Um, I knew she was out there, and I had a little small little inkling that he wasn't the father. I don't know what it was
I
or
felt
how
that way
she
too from the
wrote it.
beginning. From the
From
beginning,
the
I felt like that.
beginning, I felt like he wasn't the dad for
I felt the
some
same
reason,
way.
right? And that's some good ass writing that we was able to kind of pick up on that, but didn't know for sure. But the way she wrote it, we could kind of pick up. Um, you know, Khalid said, "No, that's Troy's bitch ass family." I got confused. I was confused about Troy and what's the man that was in the hospital that he almost killed.
Oh, that's the boy. That's the man that cheated on Mandy. I thought that was his brother at first, but it wasn't. He used to be in the military with him or something, and he
Right.
ended up
What was his
cheating
name?
with Mandy.
And
But I
baby,
feel
when
like
we was
this.
talking about Troy and that man, I'm thinking that that man was the daddy, and then I'm like, how Troy the daddy and he okay? Terry, I was confused.
I
Troy,
think
Terry,
Shaquana
like what?
that the son, he remember at the first book, both books start off with him being rejected. The
Mm-hmm,
son being rejected, both book one and book two. But
mm-hmm,
I don't think that he was. It's like when you have somebody who I think he wanted to be involved with his family, he wanted to be able to have some involvement with them, but he has been let down so many times. It's easier just to not do it. I don't want to invite them because when I do, they're not going to show up and
mm-hmm,
it's going to crush me. It's going to crush me.
mm-hmm.
And so why
Yes.
invite him anymore? So
Mm-hmm,
when you get to the start of book two, it was his basketball game. Man,
mm-hmm,
he checked the hell out of his son after that game. But it was like a little bit of his dad came out, but he had a basketball game and he's looking around the gym and he's expecting to see his dad, and his dad, none of them came.
mm,
Again, they let him down. So he didn't like inviting them into his world because y'all not gonna show up anyway. And I love the way he told them he went and checked them. He was like, okay, I need to go and see them because he is not okay. My son is not okay. He was like, look, y'all should we see y'all on Facebook, we see y'all on IG, and y'all at parties and stuff, and he not there. Y'all can invite,
mm-hmm.
that's your family. He was like, look, he said, I will fuck you up. He was like,
Basically.
he said, but you need to tell the rest of your family that that's his family. He need them. He need to
Mm-hmm,
know that they know that he's alive.
mm-hmm.
Like, y'all quit being freaking jerks.
Right. Khalees, I did not get that all. She said he was entitled. I did not get that at all from Key because he was even talking about going to work. Now, mind you, his daddy didn't name the plane after him. He taking him on trips and all kind of stuff. And he's talking about he got to get a job. He trying to get a job. He trying to work to carry on the legacy. He wasn't entitled at all to me. I did not
I
get that at all from him.
I don't think he so much was, but I think it did start rearing its head when Hayden came around.
Mm-hmm.
I think his personality he just started acting out. And so it did look like entitlement. He fucking his girl at the house and the pool and all of that kind of stuff. I think he just started acting out because he was telling his girlfriend how much he didn't like Hayden and how he didn't want her
Mm-hmm.
there. But when
Mm-hmm.
he went off on, oh, well, maybe I might be going too far. What time? It's 9:13. When he
Mm-hmm.
went off at that table when they was having dinner and talking about basically like, I try to help you and your bitch ass baby. And that's not even my sister.
Wait a minute, we gotta talk about Hayden's mother because there was another big one in the book.
The
So
island, the
the
island and
first
Hayden's mother.
time she came up was when she came to her job and Hayden had a doctor's appointment and Ishaan ended up coming and she was like, can she come to the doctor's appointment? Right. And he was like, yeah, come on, Hayden would love for you to come, whatever. So they all end up going to the doctor together. Now, Hayden and her mom are not estranged, but they have a very strained relationship. So it's not like she hates her mother or she doesn't want to be around her mother,
You
but
did
she
her. She
doesn't
was like, you
trust
did
her
not
mother.
protect me. I don't
Right,
trust you because you didn't protect me. And to this day, still, you are not protecting me. You
right,
didn't protect me then, and you're not protecting me now.
right. So she's not close with her mother. She doesn't trust her mother, so she doesn't trust her with information or being close to her or anything like that because she feel betrayed by her, right? So they go to the doctor. The mama didn't know nothing about the doctor's appointment. Hayden wasn't gonna invite her, but the mama invited herself, and Ishaan said it was okay. So, and she's smitten with Ishaan.
She low
So
key flirting with him.
right. So they go to the doctor and they do the ultrasound. So she gets a chance to hear the heartbeat and see the baby and all of that. And she's just like so excited. And I think she might have even started crying. And it pissed me off. I was like, I don't know why, but I got mad because I was like, you shouldn't be able to have this moment.
You shouldn't be able to share in this moment.
You
Not when
shouldn't
you
be able to
still
have this
not
moment.
when you still got Uncle Baby Billy living in your house
Right.
with his
Child molesting ass.
yes, that part.
The mama said, Dr. Patterson said, if she keep flirting with her, she gonna have to check in. But yeah, I had got kind of like I felt the way about it, and I was just like, you don't get to have this moment. Like you shouldn't get to have this moment as the grandmother, as the mother, and so I felt the way about it. And so I don't know. It just did something to me like, no, you don't get to have this moment because you did not protect her. So you don't get to be all happy grandmama over here, right? You need to get your house in order before you start trying to be crying and all happy and stuff like that. But I did also kind of feel the love that she had for Hayden. So I was a little bit conflicted because it seemed genuine. It seemed
You know
genuine
what?
and
I don't care what you got from me. If you didn't protect me, you continue not to protect me, and then you want to keep bringing up some. I told you what happened, and you
mhm,
know that I'm not flaky. You know what kind of person I am. You know I'm a good person. I'm not flaky. I told you what your brother did, and you still keep telling me you still worried about that old stuff until you could stand 10 toes down and acknowledge what happened. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. And that
right.
truck that took your dirty drawers to the cleaners the day before yesterday. Fuck all of y'all.
That's
And I
right.
mean that.
That's right. Because like how you got this man living up in your house and he done hurt your baby.
And then
This
and then stuff go on with him. And then you want to call me and cry about it like he's upset. Fuck him.
right. I'm upset still. In the series we did. Hold on. So let's say in the series we didn't learn when Hayden disclosed the abuse. She did. I think she did at a young age, and the mama just kind of brushed it off. She didn't do anything about it
And
really.
as a
So
kid, Hayden was she was treated, she had so much trauma because she would go to her real dad's house and her real dad didn't care she was there. And the real dad's mother allowed the siblings to mistreat her. Then she
the
come home
wife,
with her mother, the wife, yeah, the wife, the stepmother allowed her kids to treat her bad. Then she come home and then she gotta fight off her uncle. It's like this girl. What Oprah Winfrey say? A girl child don't stand a chance in a house full of men.
and that daddy was just a fucking mess from just everything. But here come Ishan. He just coming in fixing everything, fixing the mama, fixing the
But okay,
daddy.
Shaquana, what kind of person does this? Ishan said your daughter is pregnant, and he was like, "Who?" He named one daughter, and he was
Seal,
like,
that's
"No, not
seal.
her." Oh, that's Seal. Okay. Then he named
Uh-huh.
another daughter. He's like, "Not her." Then he was like, "Well, then who are you talking about?"
I
Because
only got two
I
daughters.
only got two daughters. It's like not, and at that moment he realizes what that has been like for her. This man don't even acknowledge
Mm,
her existence. And then he said, what is she now? 30, 32? And he was like, no, she's 29. He don't know her age. He don't even consider that her as his daughter. And so now he understands when he caught her with Rob and he was talking about the siblings or whatever, how she was able to tell him that I'm an only child because
right.
she
And
was.
then she told him the story about the sisters and stuff.
Love
And
Belvin, when I
so,
tell you she put some stuff in this book, because it's still like we haven't even talked about them being on an island and talked about what was the girl, Ebony?
oh right, Ebony, there was a mess.
This
Baby
heifer,
go.
this heifer.
Girl, go sit down somewhere. No, 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 no. I wouldn't say that because I get it. You know, she was having problems having babies. And he agreed. They had an agreement that they would procreate together.
Ishaan had issues too, and he needed love because at first I looked at it like Ebony told you who she was a long time ago, and you should have believed her. Now she want to have a baby. You remember who she was and why you stopped fucking with her and messing with her. I'm cussing too much today. Why you stopped messing with her in the first place, and then she come back and she got this proposition for you. But you know what? At the time, we didn't know that that wasn't his son, and
Mm.
so he wants a baby. I think he still wants love at that point. You know what I mean?
Child, they in these comments going in. Somebody said that he saw Hayden as a physical manifestation of his unfaithfulness to his wife.
Wait. Say that again. Say that again. Wait a minute. Say
The
that again.
dad, the dad saw Hayden as a physical manifestation of his unfaithfulness to his wife.
Oh, woo! Who said that?
Kamisha girl.
Kamisha. Preach, girl. You said that. She said that. You right.
No. So y'all
I
don't think
agree.
he cared nothing about Hayden. I just think he was a coward.
Well, you know
Like,
what? So what she's saying is he saw her as a physical manifestation of it. So he erased her from his life. I don't
mm,
want that. We don't want you. If when a man cheat on you, or if there was cheating and we didn't decided to be together, the person who did the cheating don't ever want to talk about that again.
mm-hmm.
They don't want that brought back up, and so he erased the affair and her out of his
But
life.
he was trying to bring her around. It wasn't like he was trying to keep her a secret. He just didn't protect her again.
It
Somebody
was
else in
it
her
was
life
it,
not protecting her.
it was half-assed because when she at 12 years old decided I'm not coming no more, have one of your kids ever told you at 12 years old they weren't going to do something no more?
Uh-huh.
And what do you say? He was like, I remember my son came home and told me he was switching schools. He was like 12 or 13. I'm like, if you don't get somewhere and sit down, you don't let no 12-year-old make no decisions like that. Remember when you was 12 and said you was running away from home and you took
Mm-hmm.
like your snacks and your favorite shoes and was gonna leave? Your mother didn't let you leave. It
Right,
doesn't
right.
work that way. How did this man let her decide at 12 that she was cutting him off? And he was like, okay.
Okay. All right.
Listen, y'all done
Wait a
got
minute, they done
somewhere now.
got deep up in her. Andrea said that Ishaan thought he controlled Ebony with the baby. So they supposed to be having a baby together. They had in vitro or however that works. So they had embryos that they were getting implanted into Ebony. Ebony was his old thing, but she was a little bit on the cray cray side. She liked to slash tires and stuff, so he had to distance himself from her. Put bleach on his clothes and shit. So he had to distance himself, but he did agree to be her baby's daddy. Okay, before he met Hayden. So they've been trying to get pregnant, or Ebony been trying to get pregnant with these embryos that she has with Ishaan. And now her come, but they not sticking. She can't, she keep losing the babies. Now her Hayden come just effortlessly getting pregnant. But he told Ebony, he didn't tell Ebony right away.
Because he knew, because she was already struggling with having, because she wasn't getting pregnant, the embryos wasn't taken, and so he didn't want to burden her with that. And I think low key, because he had the opportunity to tell Ebony, like, look, we gonna stop this right now because I got a person who I want to be my person. It's not there yet, but she pregnant. He could have stopped this then, but she was like, well, what's gonna happen? He said, we're gonna keep doing it. Like what she thinks doesn't matter. We're gonna keep moving forward. I think he wanted both kids. He wanted more family because he too was suffering.
Mm.
And as much, and his son, his 17-year-old son, he saw that his dad wanted this baby and how happy he was because he still wanted a seed that came from his loin. I was going to say nutsack. That's wrong.
Sounding like it is,
That's,
Patrice.
but he did. He wanted a baby that came from him. Although he loved his son, he wanted one that came from him. And I think he was willing to take both of these, Ebony's baby and Hayden's.
Mm-hmm. Baby, he just finna have him. He little Nick Cannon.
Kamisha, yep, you're right. Kamisha said 2 birds with 1 stone. You dang on Skippy.
So boom, we gotta hurry this along. So they're in the house together. Hayden's house had got flooded. She had bought a house. She was gonna rent out part of it and live in the basement. Everybody keeps telling her she cannot have
You're
that
not
baby in
bringing
no
that baby
basement.
home to this basement. Stop it.
She's gonna stay in the basement. She's gonna rent the other part out or whatever.
What
But
was
it
funny
got
is the
flooded.
house was stinking. They was like, her cousin said, you need to get this plumbing checked out. Here's my guy. Because there's something going on in here.
Listen, she was 29 years old. She was building financial stability. Then she want to go out and be a woman of the night and get pregnant. Now she got the baby she got to worry about, right? So she got this house over here. He telling her he want her here with him. They're falling in love with each other. She's falling in love with him, which is what she did not want to
It's
do.
on, I
But it's
want you.
hard. It's hard not to fall in love with Ishaan, baby, because he had me swooning in the book with his crackers and banana peppers. He was just taking charge.
That was so cute. And then y'all know the cutest thing is when him and her, they had their peppers and their bananas and they ended up in the closet. And I
That
like
wasn't
stuff
cute,
like this.
baby.
But
That was
they ended up
hot.
in a closet and he heard his son come in the room and he was still inside of her. So he was like, shh, be quiet. But he still was moving a little bit. He was still fucking
He
her.
was telling him, "Don't come in there."
No. He didn't tell them to come in there, but they was listening at first, but he was still inside of her and he was doing little pushes. He was doing little pushes still in her, and he was just
He had
telling like
lost
he had
it.
his hand on her mouth. And then his son came to his son is hearing something because she moaned. And his son, he was like, Dad, is that you? He was like, yeah. He said, if I come in there, you gonna whoop my hands. He was like, hell, motherfucker, yeah. And he broke her on in.
I was thinking the same thing, Anita. I can't wait for it to come out on Audible either. Yeah, that's in book one. Um, yeah, Ishan definitely was smitten with her from the beginning. She put it on his ass when she was the lady of the night. He couldn't get her off his mind. So, baby, he trapped her in my
And
eyes.
they
He
went to
knew he
another, and
was
then
getting her killed.
they saw each other in Vegas, and then they bumped into each other again, and they still needed each other. They still like, I want some more, I want some more.
They still bumping and grinding without no condom. A John and his woman. So boom. So they messing around. I mean, they falling in love with each other. Ishan definitely fell in love first, but I think Hayden fell in love hard. This is probably the first time in her life that she has felt loved, protected, and secure in her
And she
spot.
low key into BDSM too.
Baby,
Cause
everybody in love, world. To
she
be,
she edged him. Remember when she edged him?
I don't, Patrice. No.
Do y'all remember when she edged him? She did, and she made him, she got him to the brink, and she was actually, now this was sick because her hand job game came from her uncle because he never penetrated her, but he made her jack him off. So she was really good at that because he was like, if you don't do it right, I'm gonna fuck you. When she was a kid. I know it sucks, but that's the truth. That's what he said. So when she was with Ishan, she was jacking him off. She spit on his dick and was jacking him off, and she would get him right to where he was gonna come, and she would stop. And then she would do it again, and then she would stop. And then
He was
when I say,
like,
she did it
baby,
like 5 times, and then the last time she got him to it, and she stuck her finger in his ass, and then she let him go, and he had the biggest, hardest orgasm he ever had in his life.
yeah, yeah.
Police, you know I'm telling the truth.
Baby, leave it to the bedroom translator. Now, y'all know after that, baby, it ain't no coming back from that. Baby, you
I
mine,
want
I'm
you.
yours. You mine and I'm yours. So when they went on the resort, there was like a big part of the book, where everybody kind of get together and commingle, and she get a chance to see his work life and everything that he have to do in his work life, and how big his job is, and why he always gone, because he's like the man, and
Because
stuff don't operate without
what
him.
is he for Asmir? Not the He's the dream
I
catcher.
said he the COO.
Yeah, he's the
He run the
COO,
operation.
but when he explained it to Hayden, he said he's my dream catcher. Like he makes everything that I think about, he makes it come to life.
All right then. Yeah, that's what he is, the dream catcher. So that was like a big thing in the book. That was really nice. The cousins got a chance to hang out with each other. Sandria was
We got to see
there.
we got to see we got to see
Jazz.
everybody.
Yes, I love it when she bring everybody out, baby.
It felt like a
Yes.
family reunion because y'all know what? It's not many authors who do this for me, but I feel like the community, the family that LB has created, I feel Denny, like no, that's not Denny, that's the wrong person. I feel like he family too. But Asmir, I feel like Raina, I feel like Elle, I feel like Ashton and Tori and Stint Rowe. I think
And
Kenny.
when they bring them up in the book and kind of be like, yeah,
It's
that's
like
so and
they like
so.
my family. I'm like, and they
Right.
come up, I'm like, hey, she.
Yes. Baby, I love reading about Esme. I'll be like, that's my man. When he come in the room, I could just see it. Like
It's
he
like
just
he got
walking out
theme
with that
music.
big dick energy.
It's like he come in the room, it's like boom, boom, boom. I told you it
Boom,
was.
boom, boom. Yeah, so boom. So they doing their thing, whatever. Throughout this entire book, they building this lovely relationship. She edging him. They falling in love. The son is feeling left out. All this. They still ain't looked at the paternity. What the fuck?
They didn't have 15 tests to see if they got venereal disease. They've been tested every week for venereal disease, but they ain't looked at the results yet.
So he don't know. He know,
No,
but
he
he
does
don't know
know.
for
Oh no,
sure
no.
if this is his baby. His
He
mama
knows
know
it's a
for
boy. He
sure.
don't know if it's his baby. Yeah.
Right. No, she think it's a boy, but it's not a boy. She think it's a boy. So the end of the book, it kind of he ends up telling the story of what happened with Mandy and how she betrayed him and all the players that was involved. We get a chance to meet Key's dad. But in
Shaquana, when
what
you hear all of this stuff that happens with Ishaan, when you look at when you're looking at him throughout the whole book, it's like he's this big, strong character. But when he explains his relationship with Mandy, don't you see the vulnerability in him, and that he really is just like he really is not this tough guy. He's been hurt too. And that was the love of his life. And he's never loved another until he loved Hayden. And he
mm-hmm,
tried to make it work with Mandy. And then to find out she had a baby is not his son. Like he lived with a lifetime of hurt. And then his dad was mentally and a little bit physically abusive. Like
mm-hmm,
it was a lot of times he didn't feel love, but his mama was the bomb.
mm-hmm.
His mama was the bomb, but I felt like just the same like that Hayden was hurt. I think he was hurt too. And I think that they were brought together to heal one another.
Right. Oh, you know what? All her characters do that for each other. So one last thing I wanted to mention before we got out of here, because we all know they live happily ever after, but the baby shower. Her dad came to the baby shower because Isha basically threatened him. to come to the baby shower. And the mom, when they had that moment, that song, Young Run Free, that's my new theme song. Yeah, y'all probably gonna be hearing me sing that at Indian. Anywhere y'all see me, I'm gonna be playing that song. But the moment that she had with her mom, so remember I told y'all when they was at the doctor and she, was all happy and stuff, and I was like, she didn't deserve that moment. When they had their moment at the baby shower, I kind of sympathized with the mama, because I don't think we realized, not that she should have had that man staying in her house or even anywhere around her and her daughter. I don't know what was going through her mind with that. But our parents are just people with their own shit, with their own traumas, with their own drama. Not to say that they should put us through it, but I got a chance to see her as a person and not just Hayden's mother who failed her.
I
Because
got
she was
that.
dealing with her own shit.
But I will say
Mhm.
that daddy, like Ishaan having her daddy come, I'm like, no, he ain't got to come.
I felt like he kind of overstepped with that.
I didn't feel like the daddy should have came because and he didn't come with love. He didn't come to that
Mm.
baby shower with love, and the wife did, and they felt awkward and she felt awkward. But I also think that speaks to him trying to love her because he was trying to do the right thing. Ishaan was.
Right.
He was trying to
Mm-hmm.
do the right things. And so as parents, we don't always get it right. As spouses, we don't always get it right because this is the first time that I've been a spouse at this age that I am right now. So I'm still trying to
Mm.
freaking get it right.
Mm. Okay, Patrice, baby. She gonna drop that knowledge, baby. Patrice is wise, baby. She be dropping the wisdom up in this thing. But yeah, I got a chance to see Haynes' mother as a woman, as a person, and just, we don't know what her upbringing was like. We don't know what she went through as a child and
At
stuff
least
like
I
that.
don't like Monica either. I'm with you. I'm with you.
She suggests for their parents adjust for their kids. Mama should have believed, supported, and protected her daughter from future trauma. For me, you right. You absolutely correct. But that doesn't dissolve her as a human being. That's what I'm saying. In that moment, I got a chance to see her as a human being, not necessarily just Hayden's mother who failed her. Yeah, the mama should have went to therapy. But I mean, like, I'm not saying that that gives her a pass for not protecting Hayden. But in that moment, I got a chance to see her as a person and not just Hayden's mother. And
Hayden's
it
mother.
touched me, and I actually did cry because I felt like both of them needed that, because Hayden didn't know if her mom loved her. Oh my God, in the way that she wrote that. And she was just saying she loved me the best way that she
That she
could,
knew how. She
that
knew that
she
she loved
knew
her the
how.
best way that she knew how. And just because you don't think it's not right for you, it was the way that she knew how. And sometimes that's broken. Sometimes that's a broken way. And I think her mother was broken and she didn't get it right. But she did have remorse in the end, but I still did not care for her. I do have a question because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I did this. Sandria and is it Maze?
Mm-hmm.
What book are they from? I forgot
Mine.
about them. What book?
They were in that book. They was having sex up under that and making beats.
I
Oh,
remember now, but I
up
like
under that thing, and he
I
had the
don't read.
brother, and she was messing with the brother first. What
What
is the name of
y'all?
that
What
book?
book was that? Because I forgot about that book in the LBU universe. I forgot, and I was like, I maybe need to go back and read that because that was a good book. But when I think about her characters, they don't come to my mind. I think about that girl that was picking the boogers, but I don't think about them, Sundry and Mays. I don't, and that was a good book, and I own it.
They going off on Monica and these comments. They said she had a moment, and that was it. No, no, but the moment was real. And I think that Hayden needed that. But yes, love's neutral ground. Love's neutral
Okay.
ground.
So
That
the
was what that
funniest
was.
part of this book, I have to tell y'all the funniest part to me, and it is when Ebony called Ishaan and said, "My babies are missing. My embryos are lost. They go."
That was not funny, Patrice. I felt bad for her.
I'm like, girl, you know who this man is. You know he the COO. He's the problem solver, and your tail is sitting up there being a threat to his woman, to his Hayden that he loves, and you tripping, and you think. And see, she overstepped her bounds. She called herself trying to drop a dime, like hurting Hayden's feelings. He was like, "Oh no, we're not gonna do that. Now I
You
do want
fucked
a
up.
couple kids, but what we not gonna do is fuck with Hayden." So he was like, he told her, "You ain't got to worry about that. You ain't got to worry about that." But she's sitting up here worried about it herself, and so she's setting it up so that Ebony could watch them have sex. Ebony already knew that the babies was
That
gone.
was so left field. What the fuck is going on? Like, what is going on? How did we get here? How did we get here? She going off the deep end. Baby, she didn't went from pushing this man away to doing anything to keep his
And you know
ass.
what? And that's when he said he knew that she really loved him, because he didn't get mad at her for doing that. He just loved that somebody was fighting for him, because he never had a woman who fought for him. She was trying to secure the bag, and she was doing anything she needed to do to secure it. And that made him feel wanted. That made him feel he was esteemed in that way. And as crazy as that situation was, I thought it was beautiful that he got that validation.
It was. It was. I thought it was beautiful too, but it was
He
very left
said, "My
field.
baby go." Like,
Love
bitch,
then got
I
out the
didn't
court just a
lost
little
him.
bit.
He's like, that man wasn't getting ready to let you have his baby, because she would have been a baby mama from hell.
Right. And right.
She would have
But
been
yeah,
like,
it's
"Hi,
just
baby
like
mama."
so much symbolism in this book. Like Love is gonna write a book that's going to make you feel, it's gonna make you think, it's gonna make you horny, it's gonna make you have all kind of emotions
She
and
gonna do
feelings.
that. She gonna write the hell out of a sex scene, because I'm just like,
Baby, Sean, let me tell you. So, yes, so if you have not read this series, it is complete and um it's good. It's very, very good. Like I said in the beginning, it was refreshing because sometimes when I be
"You're
reading,
so
I just
silly."
what?
Celeste and Ebony would have tried to move in with them.
Well, baby, and use that baby at every turn.
Every
My child
time.
deserves to have a father in the home also. So we all just go live together and be a throuple. Yes, and so I saw that you were reading I just got finished reading that book, the book by a girl. I can't think of her name, is not coming to
Oh,
me. What
Nicole
book you
Jackson.
just got?
You talking
Yes,
about Nicole Jackson?
yes. I was
Oh
gonna call
my
her Ebony
goodness.
Jackson.
What is that book called? That book is so she it's
She got a lane and she stay in it. That's all I'm gonna say, baby. She gonna bring the ruckus. She is gonna bring the drama, the ghetto, the fighting, all that. But I was thinking we could talk about that next week.
okay, Nicole Jackson's book. I can't, because I'm on to something
I
else,
can't
right?
think of the name of it either, but I saw that you was reading. I was like, oh yeah, we can talk about that next week. So
Oh,
yeah,
you,
that's what we're
you
gonna
know
talk
what?
about.
I got a snack time for it. I recorded and I forgot to drop it. I'll drop it in the group tomorrow.
Good. So listen to Patrice snack time and then join us next Tuesday to talk about Nicole Jackson's book that we're gonna put in the group after we figure out the names of it.
I'm
All
reading
right, so
something else now.
this was a good one, y'all. But yes, Love Belvin is back, baby, and you need to get into it because she always gonna bring it
And
every
she's
single time.
her pre-sales for, if you're going to Indie Love, her pre-sales is going on sale in May. She didn't say the exact date, but I know these two books is going to be a part of it. So if you're going to Indie Love, be ready, because she said it's going to be, it's, you know, it's not going to be a long time. So we're going to hit that thing and quit that thing. Get your coins ready.
Baby, you know you got that fire when you gotta announce your pre-sale a month before.
And say, look,
It
and
is
when you see
not a
it, get
game.
it, because it's going to be gone.
Right. So, but thank y'all for joining us tonight. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all next week. Patrice, take us out.
It's the Black Girl Book Club podcast. The Black Girl Book Club podcast. Hey,
All
see y'all
right,
next
bye,
week.
y'all.